Hi, Phil Schoenberg, Fastpitch Power. I'm going to expand a little bit on Carly's latest post where she answered a number of inquiries from followers and students regarding the change in rules at the international level that now permits crow hopping, replanting, whatever you want to call it, losing contact with the ground, with your dry foot, during the delivery of the pitch. Listening to the announcers, they seem to be in favor of encouraging that same rule change at all levels of softball. Now, Carly's answer to this, her initial answer, was very practical and probably very appropriate for how this rule has been enforced in the past, which is spotty at best. Why have a rule or a law that is not going to be enforced or enforced only sporadically? You may as well not have it at all. But here, we are missing the more and most important point here. If you're learning to drive a car, you're taught to drive that car within the speed limit. Not because it's the law, but because it's the safe way to operate a motor vehicle. Well, the same thing holds true here for this particular issue. Is crow hopping or replanting or removing your foot from the ground during a pitch the most effective way to become a great pitcher? Our opinion is absolutely not. We drum into our students the importance of keeping that dry foot on the ground the entire pitch, from the load to the pre-motion to the stride to the drive-through. Any athletic movement requires balance and stability in order for you to optimally perform that movement. Now, there are two ways that the foot can come off the ground when you are pitching and coming off the pitching rubber. One is the replant, crow hop, whatever you want to call it, and that happens initially. As I load and come off the pitching rubber, I am going to jump forward. As you can see, my dry foot came up off the ground and then landed again. At one point in time, while I am starting my reach and track, both feet are up off the ground. Now, how stable a foundation can you have when both of your feet are up off the ground? At the very least, that requires an extra timing mechanism to make certain that when you land, and we've talked about this many times, when you land in power K position, this is where your pitch starts. Solid foundation, stable, tracked, hand ready to deliver the ball down the throw zone. Stable position, good balance, and those two components, stability and balance, will enable you to become a great pitcher. The other way that that foot comes off the ground is as I come forward and I drive through, I get halfway through, and then I pick up my foot. I was even having trouble, as slowly as I did it, maintaining my balance when I brought that foot up. We do a drill with our girls called 3-2-1s, where we're doing progressively faster arm circles. First 3, then 2, then 1. And this drill is done first with one of your feet up off the ground. Either your stride foot, for a right-hand pitcher, that's your left foot, or your dry foot. And you can do it both ways, and we have our girls do it both ways. Then to end the drill, they do the same thing with both feet on the ground. This is great because it serves a number of purposes. When I've got my foot up off the ground and I'm doing arm circles really fast and delivering the ball, our pitchers deliver the ball, hits the catcher's glove, then they count to 2, then they can put that foot back down, but not before. If they don't engage their core and their trunk strength to hold themselves in position, and they're just flying all over the place. When they go to deliver the ball, that foot's going to hit the ground. You do the same thing with the stride foot on the ground and the drive foot up, and then you put both feet on the ground. And the other thing this does for our students is it gets them to be aware of their bodies and how their bodies feel with one foot up in the air when they're doing this drill, and then with both feet on the ground. Seeing how much more power and much more control and command that they have when both feet are on the ground, establishing a solid foundation. As soon as one foot comes up off the ground, and I am trying to generate maximum power and speed, I am losing the stability and balance that I need to effectively accomplish that. So the bottom line here is, I don't care what rules they change. If they're changing the rule about crow hopping and replanting because so many top-level pitchers are doing it, and if it's not going to be enforced anyway, why bother having it? Okay, I can go along with that. But just like that learning to drive analogy that I gave you, just because they take away the speed limit doesn't mean that you're going to drive 90 miles an hour down a narrow street with children playing on it. It just doesn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense for you to pick that drive foot up off the ground at any point in time. When we come forward off the pitching rubber, we're loading, we're pushing backwards on the pitching rubber with that drive foot, and we're creating a glide forward, a fire, and a drive through with that drive foot never leaving contact with the ground. When I do that, I've got stability and I've got balance. And when I have stability and balance, I have a chance to throw my pitch with maximum speed and effectiveness. I'd love to hear your comments on this. We always try to answer your questions as best we can. Love to hear from you. Talk to you next time.